Hello and welcome to ComSpark. I'm Lauren Worley, and today we have Tom Skill with the University of Dayton. Hi Tom, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. So Tom, start off today. What emerging technologies are you most excited about, and how do you see them affecting the university?
Actually there's two. I think one area that I think has been really exciting, particularly in the higher ed space, is data visualization. And this is where both the software and the display systems have become very robust. We're seeing this as a great opportunity for us to kind of rethink some of the curriculum that we teach, particularly like in the social sciences, where I think now we're seeing students that are getting trained that used to be like research assistants. Now they're moving into the world of becoming data scientists and information analysts. And this has all been made possible because we have some really incredible systems that allow us to take very complex data, manipulate it in a very visual kind of way, present it in a way that makes sense to people. So I think that's one area that I'm pretty excited about. The other area I think is this whole area of sensors. I think that we now live in this world of sensors. Everything from cameras to heat sensors to sound and vibration and you name it. And what it allows for us is it gives us an opportunity to actually have a world that's custom fit to us. And so that's the good side of it. We can move about a world that kind of responds to our needs. The dark side of that, though, is that with all these sensors, it's kind of like the death of privacy. We now have the potential to have the surveillance state. So I think that the big challenge, particularly in higher ed space, is to figure out how do we kind of embrace these technologies while at the same time looking out for the things that are important to us in the context of human privacy.
Sure. Well, and along with that too comes additional, security threats. So how are you doing to address those security threats specifically in the IoT space?
Yeah. So we're kind of excited because right now we're just getting ready to open up a brand new cybersecurity center, which is multidisciplinary in focus. And this will be a place where we bring in our technology folks, the computer scientists, the computer engineers, but also our social science and our legal and our humanists and our psychologists. And in this environment, certainly we're doing a lot like most places are in looking at what kinds of technologies can we use to filter and eliminate or detect threats and manage those. But probably the area where we're spending our effort in both research and an actual on-the-ground demonstration is in the way that we're trying to train our user community to be aware of and respond to these kinds of threats out there. And we've developed several models where we're looking at how we take people from awareness of cybersecurity threats into this kind of ownership of it and ultimately into actionable steps. And the fun part about that is that we've been able to kind of demonstrate some of these tactics. We call it cyber mindfulness. We use our campus as kind of like the guinea pigs, and so our research community as well as our user community benefits from that. So I think that it helps a lot to have a lot of vigilance around the technology applications that can filter and control, but also you're going to have to really pay a lot more attention to the human factors that are in place. And those two together, I think, will help us be a little bit more secure.
Yeah, absolutely. And as things are changing so rapidly, how are you prioritizing your project, and what are some of your biggest influences on what's next? Yeah,
wow, that's a good question. So when I think about this whole idea of the prioritizations of things. So the University of Dayton has been around for 169 years. And so a lot of what drives our decisions has a lot to do with long-term. Some of us claim that we intend to be here for eternity or until eternity comes to an end. So I think a lot of what we're looking at is stakeholder value and doing that with a high degree of integrity. And that means that we're not looking for always the short-term returns, and we're also not always looking to avoid the difficulties around of making some decisions that might be tough early on, but that ultimately position us well. And I think that's where we've been kind of playing that out, even in the IT space, that we've been trying to really focus on what are the kinds of things that we need to be providing to our students and to our faculty and to our stakeholders across the campus, to make sure that they have the tools and the skill set to be able to succeed in their work. And how will this help us sustain the university over the long haul?
And speaking of succeeding in their work, kind of on a personal note, what do you think your biggest contribution to the university has been?
Wow. Okay, so I've been at UD for 35 years, and I started as a faculty member, and even though while I still am a faculty member, I spent all my time as an IT administrator. But I think probably, and I think back to probably the single biggest thing I've been involved in, it was back in 1997. I was part of a small group of faculty and alumni who convinced the university to help us wire our student neighborhood. We have 400 houses in our neighborhood, and we ran fiber to those houses in 1997. And so we were actually able to bring those houses up with basically 100 megabit speeds. And this is in a time when there was still dial-up, modems out there. So that piece kind of really pushed us into the world of high performance computing systems, of high speed data connections. And it kind of moved us into the realm of being on the map as an institution that was doing a lot in terms of applying technology for the benefit of students in that space. So that was the one big project I probably would say that I had to look back. In fact, I frequently remind people that when Google Fiber in 2012 decided they wanted to wire all these homes with fiber, I told people that we did that in '97. So essentially, we were kind of a proof of concept for Google, and they never did send us our check. So we're waiting. So.
I know that I definitely would have appreciated that back then. Well, thank you, Tom, for your time.
Great.
Again, that's Tom with the University of Dayton. If you have any more questions, just visit comspark.tech.